welcome back. This is Jen, and a lot has changed since I've been away in the journaling community. It looks crazy. There's so many people doing journals and junk journals now. It's really exciting to see. And so I don't know where I'm gonna fit in with all this stuff. So just wanted to say hello, and that I have missed drawing and making things that you can put in your journals. I've just had a finished carpal tunnel on the left side, and this is still healing and it still hurts a little bit, but at least I can hold something and draw with my dominant hand. And I'm gonna share with you some of the stuff that I've made, because I've opened back up a subscription service, and I'm going to be showing you some of the stuff I made this month for it. Our family is going to embark on an adventure at the end of the year, and it is a secret until it is set in stone. We found out good news today, but still not ready, still not official. So I decided that this new adventure is going to inspire a lot of art. And now that my hands are healing, I thought I would get back into drawing. For this month, I have chosen a new platform. I don't use Patreon now, because if members subscribe to you through the Apple Pay service or the Google Pay service, they take 30% away. And I thought that was like a lot. That was too much. It's called PayHip. And you can access it from my Instagram, and the address is in the bio, and then also here in the description I'll link it too. So anyway, I decided pretty much in the middle of September to start creating again and just kind of get back into the practice. So I'll be ready once our new adventure hits to like draw everything and not be so nervous and tight and everything. So I started out making some like major designs, and this is what size I usually start with when I start a new creation on Procreate. Is I use a paper size. So I literally am trying to fill up this huge canvas really of art. So that's what is going on with this month. Definitely is it doesn't look like it's much because I worked so hard on these images separately, and so yeah, so it's hard. It really is hard for me not to get into details, which is another thing I found out about myself. I'll get into that later, but I just can't like sketch a cute like quick idea or doodle. It just gets very involved, and then like I start thinking of it as like a puzzle, and like the shadows became the puzzle and the challenge, and I was looking at where to put shadows and then looking for textures. It's just a lot. It's almost like an illustration for a children's book is kind of what I've been doing. Like that's how I approach everything, I guess, and you know, creating scenes and stuff. So I don't know, that doesn't really work out for having like a ton of things for you to put in your journal. But I also do like to create like additional blank things, like scrappy things like you would get at a scrapbook store, you know. So I did make some of those to go along with, you know, the overarching art. But anyway, you can print these and you can put them in like a frame. They're paper size. What is it? It's 8.5 by 11.25 or so. I don't know, 8.25 by 11.5 or something like that. But you can print this and frame it for like Halloween decoration. You could put this on like your mantle and like decorate around it, you know. And so this one is just like a little vampire. It's a bat boy, basically. I think that's, yeah, bat boy. Like, isn't that what he looked like in those like National Enquirer like newspapers? Like, I don't know. This was in my mind though, so that might be who it's because it's kind of giving me also Addams Family, like Widow's Peak as well, but like the flip, it reminds me of like the Bat Boy guy or whatever. But anyway, I like this texture of this one. I really did like my colored pencil. I love using colored pencils on Procreate. And so in an effort to simplify stuff, I just sketched, you know, some trees in the background, you know, just created a little texture and then made it into a Polaroid. And then it reminds you, stay hydrated. And he's drinking pomegranate juice. Get it? Pomegranate juice. And there's a vintage McDonald's candy bowl too. So trick-or-treat bowl. And this one's a little jack-o'-lantern guy, headless horseman. I don't really know who he is, but he's a pumpkin dude. And instead of going with the traditional orange, I went with like a white pumpkin because it kind of like looks like a ghost. And some of my older artwork, I made a pumpkin, but shaped into a ghost. So I like mixing ghosts and pumpkins for some odd reason. I don't know. But anyway, he has a letter. He just got done writing it on his writing desk, and he's going to take it down to the post office by candlelight. He's in his little haunted mansion. You can't really read who it's to and who it's from, but if you become a member, you'll find out the answer to that mystery. Okay. This is also the next one. I started out by, I just want to make like a Bride of Frankenstein, you know, little image. And then it just went crazy after that. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if the Bride of Frankenstein wasn't too pleased and happy about her newfound situation? She has some surprise documents. You'll have to become a member if you can't read it from that far away. But also put some lab equipment in the background and some cool textures. So you could frame that one too if you are decorating with any like purple or like neon green or something. You know, or some, I don't know, like rusty, shabby chic Halloween could also go with that probably. And this guy is totally made out of collage shapes, this cat. And yeah, I thought he was adorable. And again, I like mixing ghosts with other things. So he's got a cat ghost instead of a human ghost on his t-shirt, because that's who he is. He's a cat. That's the community he's in. So this is his Halloween shirt. And he's like a teenage angsty kid, and he's like too old for trick-or-treating, but still wants to go get some free candy. And so he's wearing his, you know, Halloween outfit costume, you know, because he's a teenager. So I think I discussed all of the art prints, and again, you can frame all those up. And I just printed with my best fine color best draft, and I believe this is an RGB file. It's not a CMYK file. And it's just printed on some cardstock. Just test some different papers because the colors will definitely become brighter and more vibrant depending on the paper you use. So if you're having problems printing, that could be an issue. Okay, so I try to mix and match the things that I make. So after I added this frame to the pumpkin, I also offered a blank version, so you can put, you know, your own things in there. You could add like a picture here, you know, and you could start writing around there or something. Or you can just write in it, you know, or you can put a whole picture in the middle or something. And I also made like a smaller one, and it's kind of like rustic and vintage and that kind of stuff. I made a ghost like note paper, and I'm kind of thought about it as like a sticky note kind of concept, and I did make various sizes of everything. And so you can see there's a stack, you know? So I just thought, oh, it looks like a memo pad or something like that. That's what I was going for. So you could write like titles and a date or something on it, or you can write like a little photo description, caption or something, or a comment or a quote on that one. And this one you can write, you know, a little more detailed information, or you could include it in a letter, you know, for, you know, post pen pals, you know. This fits within like my journal that I have here, which I will show you later. But it is it's 9 by 5.5 inches, which I really like the size. And you can fit that right in there. Okay. And this is the other thing I'm experimenting with. You do get these, but I'm not sure what size they're going to be. I printed this on, there's 2 to a sheet on when I printed it, and this is 8 1/4 by 5. Okay, so anyway, this is the concept I came up with. I just didn't size them correctly for what I made in my journal. But these are like a kind of DIY, like Hobonichi Weeks page kind of thing. And I have trouble like journaling regularly and journaling in the same style, and I would love like everything to be in the same place, you know. And that's why I like the binder, because you can add or take away a lot of stuff. So the idea is maybe I have a section in my journal that just has the days like this, and they're kind of like, you know, mixed up like this, and I can just keep dating them and say like what happened that day. Or you could mix them in, like do a spread on one side and then the dates, the week on the other side, kind of like a Hobonichi Weeks kind of thing. But these are the other ones I made. I made this pattern and kind of designed my own like ribbons, like vintage embroidered ribbons is what the inspiration is for that. And so I made 3 different designs, and each has like the dots, a grid, and the well, only 2 of them have the weeks, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Only the orange one and the green one, because this one, this embroidered ribbon is too thick. Okay, so I wasn't considering that. So it's too thick, so I just made it like a blank page for notes, or to, again, like tape in a picture, you know. So if you guys can use them, that's awesome. I'm going to be making them for myself anyway, but basically what I did to print them out as part of the kit is I just like added 2 to a paper document, and it shrunk it down a little bit. So I think, isn't that the typical size of a traveler's notebook or a cahier or something like that? This is 8.25 by 5 or 5.25 or something. I don't know. So yeah, I think my next notebook will be like more of this size, even though that's going to make it a little too small. I don't know. Or you can print 1 per page, which is what I did. Point is, I made these, but I also shrunk them down so you can use them too. So basically with this kit, I just mixed and matched and created borders and, you know, sticky notes and just all kinds of stuff, you know. So this is an example of when I shrunk down these planner type pages. There's a grid one and a dot one. So I was thinking you could even turn this like this, write a heading, write a description, and, you know, your picture can be like, I mean, that's a huge picture, but you can stick like a little picture in there, you know. Or it can be like a photo mat kind of thing. So you could go like this, and you can write like the event or whatever. So anyway, I shrunk those down, and they're all mixed up right now, but I'll just go through all of them. I already showed you that, the little ghosty sticky notes. Okay. And what I did is I added my characters into like a frame, like after. Okay, so this is an example of what I'm talking about. So for the big piece where it's the Bride of Frankenstein, she came out and I put her in a frame like this, did, you know, a different background like that. And so that's why I made blank ones so you guys can, you know, put things in there. And then for this frame, who did I put in there specifically? Let's see. I don't know if I can get access to it right now to show you, but I think maybe I put the Bat Boy in there and the little, oh, here it is here. No, the pumpkin. Okay. So this is the pumpkin guy, and I put him in this frame and made it interesting, scratchy background. And it's kind of inspired by like a haunted mansion type thing. Maybe the Disney haunted mansion with all the frames, and they're always haunted and like looking at you and stuff. So I got a big one for you. And again, it fits, you know, in a regular, looks like hair or whatever. A wide traveler's notebook, I guess. And so to accessorize with those, I made miniature ones of different colors, and they also have different textures inside. So this one has like the dotted line, this one has the grid, this one has just like polka dots in the background. It's hard to see right now. These have white stars. It's very faint in the background. You could write things, or you could turn it like that, and you can also write like a heading or something. So I try to make it like where you can do anything you want with it. Okay, here's another miniature like planner page that you can use as like a label page or a note card. You can even, if you had a tiny image, you could put it here and like write a description, stamp a date, you know, that kind of thing. I really like the idea of forms and like stamping, like you'll see, I'll show you a journal spread of what I did last night. But you know, like the Tim Holtz like blank labels and forms, it like looks official, like files and stuff. That kind of gives me like a Dadaist vibe. That's why I like it so much. So yeah, I like the idea of having labels and official looking, you know, stationery, I guess. So with that said, I made these labels in like vintage style. And they're super simple, but I coordinated them to match the rest of the artwork in here. So I have a pretty orange, a yellow green, like a magenta type, pastel magenta, if that's even a word. And also on some of them, they're distressed a little bit in the background. It kind of looks like stone, like a stone wash. I know the light, the shadows and stuff are horrible in here. I apologize. So I have those, and you can stamp something official, or you can write a description again, or a quote or something. I shrunk the Bat Boy down to look like a normal sized Polaroid, and also left one blank so you can personalize it. You know, if you don't like the stay hydrated, if it's too cringe or whatever, you can just write whatever you want, or stamp a date on it or something, or act like you took the photo, distress it, you know. This is another little character I made. This is a familiar, and she's hiding in her witch's boot. And this has all kinds of like magical symbology on it. I thought that was cute. So she's a little die cut, or she's in this sweet Halloween frame. I made these stars myself into a brush. So those are my stars I made. Yes, and then I have some blank ones. Well, I have a smaller one, you know, if you want it smaller. You could also decorate with this if you found a frame for it. I don't know, it's just an idea. And then made it blank so you can use it as a note card of some kind. Okay, and these are exciting. These were inspired by houses because I always like making something having to do with a house. I have a little collaged cottage house on the cover of that. I hope you can see it. But anyway, I put I saw, like years ago, I saved a magazine clipping that had a geometric folksy flower on a barn. It might have been a hex sign, you know, that people put up on barns. I'm not sure, but what I noticed, it was modern and geometric. So I made my own little weird abstract geometric, like tulip shape, flower shape, and made these little houses. And I thought, oh my gosh, we could use those as labels too, where you can write a little description or journaling excerpt. But I thought that was cute. You can also send that in Happy Mail. That would be a cool thing. And in my pumpkin painting, there is a curious little butterfly. I've done this several times where I've made like little pictures of moths in the background of different artwork. And I will show you where he is. Okay, he's back here. He's like really predominant. I should have kind of faded down the color a little bit. But I liked him so much because all of this I did myself, but there's a vintage children's book where they have a moth in the face. It has these huge big bug eyes, small little irises, and this just little cute, like long smile, but it's really like, oh, stout, and I don't know how to explain it, but I had to take that and make it my own because it's just the most adorable moth or butterfly expression I've ever seen. So there's his backstory on that, but I made a couple like circle cutouts that you could decorate with. And there's multiples so that you can mix and match them, you know, all over your journal, and you can give some away in Happy Mail. And you just cut everything, you know, all at one time. So, and then you have your stash, you know. But just experimenting with putting things together. Okay, and then my little dude, my cat dude, he has his own little die cut version. And again, different color outlines and textures in the background. You know, so you can mix and match, be creative with it. And I started drawing this like embellishment for Halloween using candy corns and the pastel Halloween colors. And I really love how it turned out, and provided a bunch of different sizes, you know, for your stash. So you can just kind of treat it like washi tape, like you have plenty of it and you can just grab it when you need it. Okay, and here's more of the little note cards that came from the planner pages. Again, you can tip them like that, or you can put them like this and you can write up vertical. That would look kind of interesting. Okay, more moth guy. And then from the planner pages, I did separate out the embroidered ribbon and made that into some washi tape that you can print out in various sizes. Okay, and so there's 3. I really hope I can post this video and it's not too shadowy. I can't believe that. Okay. Right, and I love this lime green. I love that color. Oh my gosh. I think that's going to be included in all my artwork, is this yellow greenish color. I love it. I love it. It's not quite chartreuse, but it's close. I love chartreuse. Okay, so I've already used some of these washi tapes already. They've come in pretty handy. Okay, I have more of the vintage labels that has like distressing on it. Another little die cut. And here's the Bat Boy in his little frame. So you can get the art in many different sizes. Here's another little label and another washi card. And then I made these simple circles. You can put stamps in them. You could, if you had like a cute like moth stamp or skeleton for Halloween, you could stamp it in that, and then it would match all this other ephemera. you could maintain the same colors. Another house. This one is like a gold, like a ochre kind of king's gold. I don't know what to call it. More washi tape. And then this was clever. If any 90s or Y2K kids, if this makes sense to you, please comment below what it is and I will shout you out. But just see if you know what this is parroting. And then I made a little small version of it. I am going to look back at this video, and if it's completely awful, I'm just gonna have to do it for a third time. But anyway, the last thing I'm gonna do is kind of show you a sneak peek of my journal. And like I said, I don't have it in an order yet. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep the planner pages separate. I haven't really figured it out. But I wanted to show you guys my first official spread in this journal. I made this last night. I tried to make a video about it, but I was too nervous. It didn't sound good at all. It didn't make any sense. So, yeah, but you know, that's where I've been. I've also been looking into like ADHD and autism, because I have people in my direct family that have it. And yeah, I think basically HD, it's like a mixture of autism and ADHD is like what is going on with me. I've been trying to figure it out for years, and that's because I have some in my family that I just know I have it too. So I'm not gonna really do anything, get it diagnosed, because that's pretty expensive to go through that assessment process. But at least I can, like, you know, be gentle with myself and give myself grace if I flip on what I'm interested in. And I've always come back to journals and collage and junk and illustrating. I always just circle back to that all the time. You know, even if the styles change a little bit, you know, at least I'm doing something similar. So this spread, I might not even make a spread that looks like this again, because I know I'm going to be subscribing to my other favorite artists in part of their Patreons and stuff. So it's going to look a lot different. So, but anyway, this is what I made last night. I already used some of my ephemera here that I've made, and mainly the washi tape and these little circles. See, they come in handy. But basically, I've put all my planner pages together. I'm not sure how I'm gonna format this journal yet, but that's all together. Okay, and then I have like a scrappy junk journal-y section with different kinds of pages. So I have a brown paper, and then just scrap paper, ledger paper, map, and kids illustrations, of course. Bright colors that make me happy. Lots of peach. My peach and rusty magenta are my favorite colors. And bubblegum pink too. Okay, come on. Oh, and like, you know, that ochre gold. Oh, and chartreuse too. It's a cute bunny there. And more scrap that kind of has the fall vibe, that says falling. It's got the fall leaves, moths and crescent moons. I thought this would make a cute Halloween spread, because that looks like a beautiful witch to me. Dark forest, you know? Yeah. So I grabbed some scrapbook paper from back here, like 2 pages, like a ledger and a scrapbook paper. And that's how I did last night's spread. And I put it in the front of the book, you know, because I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, how I'm going to organize it. Yep. So that's all that's going on right now. I don't think I missed anything. I saved some of my work is available on my old Patreon account, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get those files. And some of it is in my iCloud, you know, and of course I have a different computer now, and my kids have my old one. So I have to track down like all my old art so I can pump it into my PayHip subscription. So I think I might have like priced it kind of high for what it is right now. I'm thinking I might go back down to $10 because I am sort of starting over. But to be fair, inflation is painful and groceries are very expensive, and I'm working towards a goal for the end of the year. So that's kind of was my rationale, but now looking at it, I don't have a lot of my old stuff on it. So I might be putting it back down to 10 and just, you know, focusing on future art and posting some of my old packets and maybe offering some of them for free as well. So I'm gonna play around with those ideas. So things might be cheaper by the time this video hits you. So definitely check it out. The link is below. I am able to write blogs on this platform. I'm not sure about videos or anything like that. I will try to post as much as I can on the platform, but I'm definitely going to promise art every month. And I'm already working on November. And I just hope you guys are doing well. Let me know how you're doing, and I hope you could see this video. Love you guys. Bye.